Picture this: Chengdu, China, in the year 2023. The city pulses with energy, a blend of ancient tradition and modern ambition. Skyscrapers rise above centuries-old temples, neon lights flicker over bustling streets, and everywhere you look, there's a sense of movement, of possibility. Chengdu isn't just a city. It's a living, breathing symbol of China's rapid transformation. Now imagine yourself wandering through one of Chengdu's famous street food markets. The air is thick with the intoxicating aroma of spices, fiery chili, numbing Sichuan peppercorn, and the unmistakable scent of sizzling oil. Vendors shout out their specialties, woks clang, and the crowd is a sea of hungry faces, all eager for a taste of something delicious. It's a sensory overload, a celebration of flavor and community that's been at the heart of Chengdu for generations. But look closer, and you'll notice something's changed. Instead of the familiar golden arches or the promise of a bucket of fried chicken, the longest lines snake around a humble stall selling mo, China's answer to the sandwich. These flatbread pockets, stuffed with juicy, slow-cooked pork and fragrant herbs, are the new stars of the show. People of all ages, from students to office workers, are skipping the Big Macs and KFC buckets they once craved, choosing instead to savor the flavors of home. This, my friends, is China in 2025. The land where Western brands once reigned supreme is now a battleground for the hearts and wallets of a new generation. And guess who's winning? The home team. Young Chinese consumers are embracing their own culture with pride, supporting local businesses, and rediscovering the tastes and traditions that make their country unique. It's not just about nostalgia. It's about identity, about choosing what feels authentic in a rapidly changing world. And this shift isn't limited to food. Walk down any shopping street in Chengdu, and you'll see the same story playing out. Chinese smartphone brands like Huawei and Xiaomi are packed with customers, while Western tech giants struggle to draw a crowd. Local sneaker brands are flying off the shelves, their designs inspired by Chinese art and pop culture. Even in fashion, cosmetics, and entertainment, the tide is turning. Chinese consumers are saying no thanks to the big American names they once idolized, and yes, to homegrown innovation and style. So why is this happening? Why are millions of Chinese people turning away from the global brands that once symbolized status and modernity? The answer is complex, woven from threads of national pride, economic change, and a desire for authenticity. It's about supporting local businesses, yes, but it's also about reclaiming a sense of self in a world that's more connected and more competitive than ever before. So grab a mo, pull up a stool, and let's break it down. The story of China's new flavor is just getting started. First up, the economy. For years, China's economic story was one of relentless growth, with headlines touting double-digit GDP increases and a seemingly endless appetite for new skyscrapers, factories, and shopping malls. The world watched in awe as China transformed itself into a global powerhouse, lifting hundreds of millions out of poverty and reshaping the global supply chain. But now, the mood has shifted. China's economic engine, which once seemed unstoppable, is sputtering. Factories that used to run around the clock are now slowing down, and construction sites that once buzzed with activity are eerily quiet. Storefronts that were once packed with shoppers now stand empty, a stark reminder that the boom times may be fading. Growth is slowing down and people are feeling the pinch. The numbers tell the story. GDP growth has cooled, and the optimism that once filled the air has been replaced by a sense of caution. For many Chinese families, the days of easy spending are over. Instead, there's a new focus on saving, budgeting, and making every yuan count. Jobs that once seemed secure are now less certain. Workers are clocking out earlier, and small business owners are tightening their belts, hoping to weather the storm. Young people, once confident about their futures, are now facing a more competitive job market and rethinking their career plans. Suddenly, that shiny new iPhone doesn't seem so essential when you can get a perfectly good Huawei for half the price. The days of splurging on the latest gadgets are giving way to a more practical mindset. People are asking themselves, do I really need the most expensive brand? Or can I get by with something more affordable? This shift isn't just about saving money, it's about changing attitudes. Online, influencers and everyday consumers alike are sharing tips on how to get the best value, and budget-friendly brands are gaining popularity. The message is clear: smart shopping is in, and conspicuous consumption is out. Remember those massive shopping malls filled with designer labels? They're still there, but the crowds are thinner. Luxury brands that once symbolized status and success are now struggling to attract customers. Instead, shoppers are gravitating towards stores that offer discounts, deals, and practical products. People are being more careful with their money, and who can blame them? With uncertainty in the air, families are sitting down together to plan their budgets, cutting back on non-essentials, and looking for ways to stretch their income further. It's a time of adjustment, but also of resilience and resourcefulness. When the economy gets tough, the tough start hunting for bargains. Discount markets are bustling, and shoppers are comparing prices more carefully than ever. There's a sense of camaraderie among bargain hunters, as everyone looks for ways to make their money go further. And you know what? They're finding them. Thanks to technology, it's easier than ever to track down the best deals, whether online or in-store. Apps and social media groups dedicated to sharing discounts are booming, and shoppers are celebrating their savings. In this new era, being savvy with your spending isn't just smart, it's a point of pride. Not so long ago, if you walked into an electronics store in China, you'd probably see a sea of foreign brands dominating the shelves. Chinese brands? They were often dismissed as cheap knockoffs, imitations that couldn't hold a candle to the big names from the West. But fast forward to today, and the story has completely changed. The home team has not only caught up, they're setting the pace. Companies like Huawei, Xiaomi, and BYD are now at the forefront of innovation, pumping out high-quality products that can go toe-to-toe with the best from America, Europe, or anywhere else. These aren't just alternatives, they're often the trendsetters, pushing boundaries in design, technology, and user experience. Whether it's a cutting-edge smartphone, a sleek electric car, or a smart home device, these brands are proving that made in China now means world-class quality. And here's the kicker. They're doing it at prices that would make your wallet sing. Take smartphones, for example. You can walk into a store and find a device packed with the latest features. Stunning cameras, lightning-fast processors, gorgeous displays, all for a fraction of what you'd pay for a foreign brand. It's no wonder that more and more people are making the switch. Remember when Apple was king? For years, the iPhone was the ultimate status symbol in China, the must-have gadget that everyone aspired to own. But times are changing. The local competition has stepped up in a big way, and the playing field looks very different now. Well, Huawei just dethroned them, and they did it with a phone that's actually pretty awesome. The latest Huawei flagship isn't just a competitor, it's a statement. It's packed with features that rival, and sometimes even surpass, what Apple offers. From advanced AI-powered cameras to ultra-fast charging, Huawei is showing the world that Chinese tech can lead the way. It's got all the bells and whistles, a sleek design, and a price tag that won't give you a heart attack. For millions of Chinese consumers, the choice is clear. Why pay more for a foreign brand when the home team is delivering innovation, quality, and value? The game has changed, and it's only just getting started. But here's the thing, it's not just about price. There's a new sense of national pride bubbling up in China. People are realizing that their own companies are producing world-class products, and they're eager to show their support. Think of it like this. Remember when everyone was obsessed with K-pop? This is kind of like that, but instead of catchy tunes and synchronized dance moves, it's about smartphones, electric cars, and really good noodles. Don't just take my word for it. Let's look at the cold, hard facts. Apple's sales in China have taken a nosedive. They're down by a whopping 8% this year. Meanwhile, Huawei's sales have skyrocketed by 70%. That's not a typo, folks. 70%. And it's not just Apple feeling the heat. McDonald's, that bastion of American fast food, is struggling to keep up with local chains like Nanchengxiang, which offers tasty, familiar dishes at rock-bottom prices. Now, some might say the Chinese government is giving local companies an unfair advantage. And you know what? They're not entirely wrong. The government has been known to throw a few roadblocks in the way of foreign companies, making it harder for them to compete. But hey, can you blame them? Every country wants to see its own companies succeed. It's like that old saying, if you don't support your own team, who will? So what does this mean for the future of American brands in China? Well, it's not game over just yet, but they're going to have to adapt, and fast. They need to offer products that are not just desirable but also affordable and relevant to the Chinese market. Some companies are already starting to get the message. Starbucks, for example, has been busy adding local flavors to its menu, like green tea lattes and mooncakes. Hey, if you can't beat 'em, join 'em, right? But here's the bigger question. Is this surge in national pride a good thing? On the one hand, it's great to see Chinese companies thriving and innovating. But on the other hand, some worry that it could lead to protectionism and a less competitive market. Only time will tell what the long-term consequences will be. But one thing's for sure, the days of American brands having it easy in China are over. So, the next time you're in China and you're craving a burger, you might want to skip the Golden Arches and try a Rujamo instead. You might just be surprised at how good it is. And hey, you'll be supporting the local economy while you're at it. Win-win. The balance of power is shifting, my friends, and right now it looks like China is holding all the cards.